You wanted to travel the world and not work anymore. However, it is hard because it is just not possible. You try to hire people and it doesn't work. You think you are hiring an expert, but they're not as good as you. Have you run into all these problems I just talked about? I just have lunch with one of my clients. Her name is Vivian. It was a fun conversation because I've been doing this for such a long time, and it is so easy for me, right, to build a team, delegate, find a person. However, whenever I work with my clients, I realized it wasn't as easy as I think it is. And today I wanted to break down these 3 things that you probably are overcoming. These are the 3 things that I do believe you have the barrier and it prevents you to really building a team, especially if you're looking for someone that is overseas, okay? Number 1, it's a language barrier. Vivian is a lawyer. She speaks really, really good English. She's from California, and she just have an accent. At the same time, the virtual assistant from Philippines or any countries that you chose, they also have an accent. So with an accent versus meeting an accent, there's a lot of verbal miscommunication, or there's just things that wasn't understanding. So what do? Number 1, make sure you record it using a software so that they can bring it back to AI to read the transcription or ask AI what do they really trying to say. So that way you can lower down the barrier, and remember to use 4th grade English to communicate with your team and slow down. And a great exercise that I have done in the past is I will always start with a small talk, at least 2-3 minutes, to kind of practice out the English, the pace, you mirror each other, you understand each other already before you go straight to the point. And then after you're done, what you want to do is you want to ask them to type out the summary of the meeting, okay? The summary of the meeting, so that way you can see what they are writing is aligned with what you are expecting out of them. It's what you are writing is what you understand based on what you are saying. The to-dos, the notes, the expectation. Is it black? Is it gray? Is it white? I also realize I'm a visual learner, so typing down the notes is very important to me. If you are an auditory person, maybe you can tell them to repeat what they just said. But I always like to have it black and white, so it's always typing it down. Whether you're using Notion, ClickUp, Asana, right? Whatever that is, we want them to type it out. And again, this is a tip I share with all my paid clients. If you do not get it, I'm not supposed to share the how, but I'm sharing it right now, which is make sure all calls are recorded so they can get the transcript, so that they can watch it again, or so that they can, ask ChatGPT the question, hey, what did Vivian really tell me? Okay, you got it? You feel much better? And again, allow it to take about a week or so to get used to each other's language pattern. If you have worked with a lot of international students or outside your realm, your circle, then maybe it is easier. But again, when the first 30 minutes, you will know whether you guys are syncing up or not. And again, if it doesn't work, you just wanted to let it go and hire another one. Sometimes it might be just better off to just find someone that immediately can understand you. Sometimes you just want them to be really good at what they do, right? Vivian have 2 virtual assistants. One is Jeff, one is Meryl. Meryl is social media and EA, so she speaks really good English, so she really works very well with Vivian. However, Jeff is a website designer, so he's very internal, very introverted too. So his English is really not that good. So I suggested Vivian, since you really like him doing your website, maybe just do typing communication instead of verbal. It will be easier for Jeff to copy it, translate it in ChatGPT and translate back to let you know the answer instead of verbally answering it. Sometimes Loom is a good option because you can record it and then they can watch it again. If they don't understand, they can pull it from the transcript and ask better questions. So these are some of the ways if you have a language barrier. And congrats, you know why you have a language barrier? Because they're from another country. That's the reason why it allows you to pay them much cheaper than hiring local employees to do the same work. Point number 2 is the cultural barrier. I know I talk about this all the time with my clients, and today I talked to Vivian. I realized that Vivian did not attend one of my classes. So I told Vivian, I said, Vivian, in the virtual assistant world, they're a little bit more passive. They don't really ask a lot of questions. And in the American culture, especially if you're a business owner, right, we are very vocal about how we feel and we're very quick on doing things. And a lot of time when you're hiring someone, you usually are hiring someone to do the things that you don't like to do. So what it is that they're a completely opposite of you, right? So if you're active, they're most likely passive. If you're extrovert, they're probably introvert. With those two shifts, a lot of time Vivian tell me, hey, I'm frustrated because I tell them, hey, how do you feel? What do you think? And they don't speak up. With the American culture, we are quick to trust and then verify. With the Filipino Asian culture, they actually is trying to earn the trust. They verify first and then they trust. It's a very different, like almost like a polar opposite culture. That's why a lot of time when you work with your virtual assistant at the very beginning, they don't usually speak up. They don't usually ask questions. And you're like, why is this so weird? Why you guys are not asking questions? Because they are just not built that way. When I was growing up, my parents tell me, don't ask me any questions, just follow. Whether it's right or wrong, if mommy say so, you just follow. And a lot of them are still in that kind of mindset and that kind of community. That's the reason why we, as a company, we train them on 30 days strong mindset shift to quote unquote Americanize them, get them to have a different mindset because they are amazing. As long as you open them up, they know that they can trust you. If they ask you any questions, they're not going to penalize. They're not going to get yelled at. They will start asking you more questions because they are very smart, very brilliant people. They just need to know that they can trust you, they can believe you, and that's really what you meant. And again, at the first 7 days, first month, they're going to test you out. They're going to be like, should I ask? Should I not ask? And sometimes, like even Monique, who have been with me for 12 years, going on 13 years, she would just say, boss, to be honest, this is how I feel. I was like, are you not honest with me most of the time? Is it just this only time that you're honest with me? She's like, no, that's not what I meant. But again, after 13 years, that's how she truly feels too. She's still not feeling comfortable to tell me the truth. How incredible is that? Am I right? Very different culture. I just want you to understand. And barrier number 3 is expectation barrier. Majority of them work in a BPO industry, okay? If you don't know what is BPO industry, or if you do know, type it down below so everybody can read it on the chat, right? In a BPO industry, it's a big company. Some of the BPO company will be like Capital One, Chase, Hewlett-Packard, Inti. If you call to the call center, probably you'll hear them that they have an accent, and majority of them are from Philippines. That's the reason why we chose Philippines, because it's the closest that you have been using on day-to-day basis. And they understand American culture because a lot of them work for American company. However, when they go into the company, they work for a big company, right? So what do they really have? The expectation is they already have SOP. The expectation is they are only going to be starting chapter 1 to 5. And all they are going to do is doing everything that is listed in chapter 1 to 5. If customer have questions, it's going to be in the FAQ that they already have the answer. Am I right? Because they work in a big company that have been around for a long time. Compared to us, hello, we are the small business owners. What do we have or don't have? We probably do not have an SOP. We probably will change our mind all the time. And we probably do not, sometimes we don't even actually have an answer. So what we're looking for is we're expecting someone to ask us questions. I don't know. Ask me a question and I'll clarify. Ask me a question and then I'll tell you what to do because I yet have an SOP. Is it bad? No, it's just a different state of life. But when the virtual assistant first come in, right, again, I'm just teaching you the awareness about the culture difference. When they first come into the BPO industry, they were taught, don't ask any questions, follow the manual. If you are asking questions, that means that you're not studying hard enough on the manual. Here you are, they kind of have a culture expectation shock, right? And by the way, I don't know what you just said. I really don't know. So to them, it's like, oh, I don't know this is different. This is so different. Am I right? Because my previous boss know everything. I shouldn't ask any question because they have all the answer in the whole wide world. In this new business, I love it because I work from home, right? I have an incredible boss that is always smiley at me. I can talk to the boss directly. I have a better pay raise. However, I don't know what to do. I'm supposed to ask questions. There's no rule books. There's not an FAQ. And a lot of time my boss doesn't even know what he or she wants. What? And are you sure I really can ask questions? Are you sure I really can ask questions? And yes, and you want to tell them, yes, I expect you to ask questions. I expect you to operate with your common sense. That's how it really works on the small business world. And again, that's the reason why we started our agency to help out with that, because there's a lot of, I don't know what I don't know. And I just really feel really, really bad that amazing person like Vivian, she wants the whole world for herself, right? She really want to go start traveling the world. But she had been working hard and working from home. She just couldn't really scale her business because it's so hard to give things away. It's so hard to let go because this is your life. This is your reputation. This is your everything. How can I give this to somebody else? And then they're not doing what they're supposed to do. And that's the reason why I love you to make sure that you follow my channels and learn these tips and tricks, because ultimately I want you to have freedom. I want you to be able to live like me, where I go travel the world at least minimum 6 months a year, right? I go home to see my family. I have a lot of family time. I homeschool my children, bring my kids to multiple countries in a year time before they become teenager, that they don't want to hang out with me anymore. I truly lived the life that I truly wanted to live. But I know it is very hard at the very beginning, where you need to let go, right? Letting go is so hard. At the same time, if you don't let go, how are you going to see how you're going to form a company? Am I right? I'm not going to overwhelm you with everything. I just want you to, get a couple things going through, right? Number one, make sure you're being patient. If you really want to have a new life, you have to have new habit. You have to have new systems, right? Number one thing is make sure that you are allowing yourself to be direct. Tell them what you want and how you like to be served, because this is your business. There's no guided rules, right? So, be very direct. Let them know exactly what you want. Make sure that you're always getting the call recorded so they can figure out what is going wrong. You can even ask ChatGPT, hey, I just have this conversation with my virtual assistant. What else do I have to tell them so that they're clear with what needs to be done, right? Or act like a Filipino virtual assistant. Do you understand what I just said? Am I too easy, too hard? Or did you miss some information? You can figure that out too, right? 3, just be more patient, right? Be more patient to allow each other to kind of work it out, because again, you guys come from a totally two separate world, from two separate countries. And the reason why you'll be able to get a benefit of the cost, right, is technically 1/3 of how you hire a local employees, and they work harder for you after they figure it out together with you. So there's a lot of payoff. There's a lot of amazing outcome if you go through the process. It's kind of like when you're first riding the bicycle. I learned how to ride a bike when I was 40. It was very hard at the beginning. I'm so worried that I'm going to fall. I'm going to be imbalanced. But as soon as you learn how to ride the bike, it was easy, right? Like things are just flowing and I go so fast, right? And I love it. But the beginning is hard. Okay, the beginning is hard. It is easy, but it is simple, but not easy, because if you have limiting belief, if you cannot let go, if you get frustrated, then things are going to get harder and harder because there's more and more friction. And number 4, be graceful. Be graceful. Be graceful to them. Be graceful to you, because this is the first time you're ever trying to do it. Imagine when's the last, if you have a husband or you have a boyfriend right now, how many of them does it take for you to find this final husband, right? Or the permanent boyfriend? Same thing with virtual assistant. If you're looking for just somebody that's like just a data entry person, it's pretty easy. You can easily hire someone immediately. But if you're looking for a partner like Monique, it's going to require a couple times for you to find the right person that without you even saying anything, they already know. Last but not least is, if you do not want to have a lot of training and you want them to have experience, pay more. If you want to if you have a lower budget, and then you can pay less, but with lesser expectation. And the last thing I wanted to share with you is that they are not you. If they are you, they would have been already a business owner. They would have been already in United States. They would have already been living your life. They wouldn't be applying for a virtual assistant's position. Does it kind of make sense? So I just hope that this video is going to encourage you to want to continue on with this journey. And I will be sharing a lot of tips and tricks, like the next video, on how you're going to find the right one. What do you need to do? Life has never been the same ever since I have delegated tasks and all my work so that I can focusing on what is truly mattered to me, my zone of genius, still making a lot of money, still allow my kids to hang out with me, still be able to go back home to my breast cancer survival mom, to live the life that we truly want. And just like what God say, right? Life is a buffet. You get everything that you want. You just lack of the awareness or the skills to get it. And all we need to do is open our heart, be curious, learn, practice, and make sure that, we own that skill or the way so that we can live the life that we truly want to. All right, talk to you in the next video.